all good. Like I said, I'm coming for Sean Yu's appearances record. This means a lot to me.
Welcome to Spinsters, a podcast where we are better, so much better than the TNT app. I'm Jordan. Haley's here. Rohan's back. We got Harry. We got Ciara. Their backgrounds are Warriors themed. If you watch on YouTube, which, by the way, subscribe. It's a wonderful channel. You get to see our faces as we talk about basketball. Some other housekeeping. We got some really nice emails recently. Thank you so much for the love. We appreciate it. You asked for more W content in the off season. We will give it to you. Thank you for the lovely emails.
Yeah, shout out to Alyssa. Also, shout out to Brian from Twitter for being just very kind and supportive. Also,
Thanks, Brian.
Today, Flagrant dropped issue 4. So buy
Woo!
issue 4 of Flagrant magazine. Oh, my mic's too low.
With a big old toilet on the cover.
Harry, my mic's yellow. Is that normal?
Yellow.
Back to green. Okay, well, let's talk about basketball this time.
We promise, maybe. We'll try our best.
You guys want to do Warriors versus no one first, or do you want to do Heat versus Celtics?
I feel like in honor of some of the backgrounds we have on the show, we should probably start with the Warriors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
My dad has adopted the Warriors. Did I tell you guys that? And not even like 2016, I remember he did. And so he's a Warriors fan. Yeah, I've never told you guys this. But yesterday he was glued to the TV. He was so happy. He also called out something that I think it's about time we all call out, which is the fact that Luka is a big fucking baby. And
yeah,
a butterfly could land on him and he'd be screaming at the refs like a petulant child. I am a huge fan of how he plays basketball, but holy shit, I am so fed up with that.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, and he noticed that, like, doesn't watch Mavs ever, I would say. Noticed that end of the first quarter. So,
that's funny. He could have been texting my dad about it because my dad said the same thing.
Such a dad thing.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Old NBA.
Yeah, my mom, I think, is going to hate the Warriors pretty soon because she doesn't like it when the same team is in the finals a lot. Like she she would start to text me like getting real tired of LeBron, would like to see a new team in the finals. And I think so, like, she's been following the Eastern Conference playoffs pretty closely because the Heat have made it this far, and I think she's going to be pretty upset if she finds out the Warriors are back in for a 6th time in 8 years.
Yeah. But it feels so different this time.
It does.
Right?
It does.
It
and
does.
I hope that she's able to recognize that, but she's kind of a hater, so I don't think.
Your mom was your first hater.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Does it feel different? I mean, I'm sure it feels different to you guys as actual Warriors fans.
Yeah. It's a little more like, I don't know what's going to happen. Because it felt like for the 4 years or whatever, it was like, yeah, it's going to be the Warriors and the Cavs. Even when we had like teams that were actually giving us good games and stuff. But this is kind of like, there was no expectations. I don't know.
No, the boys are fully back. You know,
Okay.
there was. I mean, it is funny because the Warriors are in this weird thing where depending on who you ask, they're an underdog or not an underdog. Like they had this weird season and Clay's coming back, you know, all that stuff. And people weren't picking us to come out of the West. But then in every like individual game, we're the Death Star. And so it rules because we just keep winning. So it's like I'm loving it. I couldn't appreciate it more.
Let's really be honest with everyone ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Who is calling them the underdogs? Like, of just anything. You can't be an underdog even if you're in a matchup where you are not advantaged, which is obviously not the case in this Western Conference Finals. But if you're in a series and you are the worst team, I don't think that we should call that the underdog, because that's not a word. If you're like past a certain bar, that shouldn't there. You should have to be a certain level
Like
of
zero
like
chance.
pretty
Yeah.
exactly, not even zero, but like I need at least like 35, and then you're the underdog if you've got 35% chance.
They definitely have too much institutional success to be an underdog. It's more like they're not the runaway favorite anymore, which honestly makes them lovable. Like the fact it was annoying when they were so good and it felt like nobody had a chance to beat them. But now they've reached what I consider to be like the sweet spot of an NBA team, which is good enough to win, but not so good that it doesn't feel like your team doesn't have a chance against them. Where I think everyone who went up against the Warriors when they had Durant was like, we don't have a chance against these guys. This is unfair. But now it's like we have a chance, which makes it cooler when they do succeed, especially because all the guys are older. Like Klay's not the same. Draymond like has to turn it up in the playoffs. And they were so like in your face for so long, but now it's like come around back to the other side where it's fun again.
And you really gotta hand it to Draymond. Sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've just kind of shown themselves to be human, like they're real. Steph is missing free throws. Like there are holes in this perfect Warriors team, and we've seen them lose games, we've seen them turn over the ball. So I totally agree with you, Rohan. It's not so much that they are this perfect team, unbeatable. We can kind of root for them to be fun, and we know some games they are gonna, do what they did to the Mavs the other night, but they're human, so it makes it more interesting to me. It's not just another series.
Yeah, but they are still like infinitely better than the Mavs.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is like now you've got no choice. You've locked in people like me. I need the Warriors to advance, because if they don't, what an ass finals this is going to be. I don't want that. No one wants that. I don't even want this Western Conference Finals. Like last night I'm waiting. Like your turn, NBA. How are you going to fix this? Are you going to make this more interesting?
This is a great take, because not to play the whole like people forget card, but the Mavs like got blown out in every game they lost in round 2. Like a week ago, they lost by 30 points. And I understand how shocking that Suns loss was, but now I'm realizing like the Warriors lost by 55 points last round and we kind of just forgot about it. The Suns just happened to have their bad game in a game 7. You know what I mean? But it happens sometimes. It even happened to the Warriors. It's just been a weird run for all these teams.
Yeah, it's been a lot of blowouts, right?
Yeah.
I feel like so many each round. I've noticed that. And I'm with you, Haley. I'm a little bored. I want some more. Where are the buzzer beaters, the game winners, closeness? I don't know. Some Buffalo Wild Wings pulling the, going to overtime commercials.
You see Clay's he's in a new ad.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
he's getting that Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's like a
check.
Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
no, wait. I saw Zach LaVine in a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he's in
the guy from It's Always Sunny. I was like, you hurting for money, bud? What's going on?
Tyler Hero's got a Thor commercial. Can I tell a quick, funny, in my opinion, ad-related story?
Please.
So, like, back in the day, the NBA used to always offer us, like, if such and such athlete was doing a charity thing, but it was usually attached to some sponsor. So it was like Chris Paul with State Farm is doing some charity thing. And, back in the day, I was like, oh, like I got to talk to Chris Paul. Like, sure, I'll do it, even though it's got like this cheesy sponsor thing attached. And I was like, how do you film the scenes with Cliff Paul? Your fake twin brother. Like, can you tell me a little bit about how you film the scenes? And I could tell he's like about to answer. He's like, and then he's like, what do you mean? That's actually my twin brother. I was like, damn, that's a good bit. I was like, okay, well played.
Gotta stay true to that.
Yeah.
Is Chris Paul funny?
Chris Paul, I think, can be funny, yes. I think he doesn't want to show it to most people outside of his teammates, but I think he can be funny.
Who is the least funny person on the Warriors?
Oh, boy.
Iguodala, it has to be.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
Yeah,
look like
it
a
doesn't.
fun time. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Was he the one who was like really weird about his daughter playing
Yes.
basketball? Bad.
I mean, we
Hope
are.
you've changed,
I didn't even
Iggy.
hear about that.
Or he
We
doesn't
are,
like being
yeah.
called Iggy. Hope you've changed, Iguodala. Don't fear lesbians.
Oh no.
No, we
He
are.
did. He said, I don't want my daughter to play basketball because only lesbians play basketball.
Yeah, he did say that.
Bizarre.
All
Yeah.
right. Can he
Yeah.
get any more unlikable? I
I'm
didn't like him.
I didn't know that, and I'm kind of appalled right now. That
I'm
was a
really
take
taken
that
aback.
exists. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will just say that Jonathan Kuminga doesn't look particularly funny. Granted, like, he's not really asked to do anything fun on the basketball court,
Yeah.
so that might be part of it. But
No, the Warriors
Wiggins.
are a profoundly unfunny
Yeah.
organization. I mean, the most exciting bit of like team, you see that video of the Suns dancing around, whatever. The most kind of like let your hair down thing the Warriors ever did was like KD would do that weird dance before games. We have no juice in the funny department.
Even Steph, like when he does the little shimmy and the whatever, I'm like, this feels like a weird show that I
They're
didn't
dorks.
pay to
I thought you were
watch.
gonna
Yeah.
mention his commercial where he's like a mime. That was
oh my god,
That's a
How
good
how did,
Fucking
commercial.
crypto. Yeah.
how did they let? Who is like? How is no one on his team like, bro? We're not letting you mime in a commercial. That was like.
I think he suggested it.
You
I
think-
swear to God, I think he suggested it. No advertising person is like, you know what's gonna work for the first time in 14 years? A
Yeah.
mime commercial.
Right, like when was the last time someone made a mime joke? That was like
Yeah.
that was like funny when we were in elementary
Yeah, when we were in
school.
elementary school, we
yeah.
go,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, wow.
That was fully his idea.
A treat,
Yeah,
a
I
treat,
believe you.
a treat for the YouTube viewers, the people who are really deep in on Spinsters. Yeah,
You'll see Haley miming
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, www.com/Spencer/YouTube.
Yes, exactly. So how could the Mavs beat the Warriors?
I do think there's going to be a game or two where they just hit a ton of those threes. Like that's what happened against the Suns, where it was like, granted they were hitting threes in those first two games, but yeah, there's just going to be a night where they're unstoppable, and somehow Bertans like shakes loose and gets going. Luka, I don't think will be that bad again, although I think they did a good job of slowing him down. But that's another like kind of annoying thing about the playoffs is you can like analyze a game one all you want, but then in the next game someone just hit like some random guy hits 6 threes, and then it's like, well, what was the point of all this work?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the trends too. Like the Mavs have lost every game one so far.
Yeah.
And even in the Suns series, they lost all the games away except for the game 7. So I kind of took it as like, well, they might have a better chance in Dallas. Like maybe it's just really hard to play in San Francisco.
I'm with you, Jordan, and also our beloved friend Jason Gallagher. Something he tweeted yesterday was that what he appreciates about the Mavs is that they always let you know if it's gonna be a loss, like in the first quarter, so you really can just lose all hope and enjoy the ride. And that's completely true. Rohan, like you were saying, they don't lose normally.
Yeah.
It's always like quite a big deficit. So I
dedication.
think that they need to. It's funny because the Warriors, like if you're playing them, your attack plan has to obviously account for Steph and Clay again, thank God, being like huge offensive weapons. But for me, if you watch a Warriors game, your takeaway, like as a stranger person who doesn't watch basketball, is how much Draymond does in every little element of the game, even when he's not touching the ball. And that's like probably the most cliche thing you can say about him at this point. You've got to find a way to take him out of the game and use what you know about him to propel yourself forward into a Draymond-less court and fire him up. Seriously, because he is so integral to everything that they do. If Steph starts slow, like that's the thing I was saying yesterday. We were watching. My dad was like, "Man, like Steph's not really hitting right now." Is early on, and I was like, "Yeah, but they're still winning." You look to everything else, and they have a bunch of guys who feel like they are glue, but it's because Draymond is the ultimate adhesive
Glue guy.
So
Yeah.
yeah. You got to take care of Draymond.
Yeah. If I were the Mavs, I'd have one person dedicated to getting 2 techs on Draymond. You don't have to score. You don't have to rebound. You don't have to do anything.
Get him
I need
mad.
you to go there and just poke him.
The Nuggets definitely were trying that in one of the games. I remember like they came out and like Aaron Gordon within like 2 minutes was like, "Let me get in a double T scuffle with Draymond." I feel so bad because like Spencer Dinwiddie thought he got fouled in the corner shooting a 3 last night, and he freaked out and got teed up immediately. And it's like Draymond is doing this after literally every single play. Like the most mundane foul call, Draymond is like the most demonstrative. And it's not like I want more technical fouls called, but it's so inconsistent how he's called that it kind of has to drive you crazy as an opposing team fan.
I would think so, yeah.
I have a theory about this too.
Ooh.
Well, it's not that. Yeah. So me and my fiance were watching, and we were having that exact same thought. Where like every single call, Draymond is in the face of the ref. How is he not getting a technical? But then we looked closer. We're like, Draymond just has a very big mouth. He looks like he just talks. He just talks loud. So maybe he's actually not yelling at them. It's just, it looks bad. Maybe
this is
that's
correct.
it.
And that's the difference between how Luka does it and how Draymond does it. Do I find it annoying when Draymond does it too? Yes. But I don't.
Yes.
He's not giving the same air of who's the girl in Willy Wonka who wanted
Violet Beauregard?
Yeah. He's not. It's not giving the full amount of that, whereas Luka is.
Luka definitely has a weird sense of like condescension that you feel. Whereas like Draymond's just like pure rage that you've like offended him. Whereas like Luka's like, yeah, it was getting a little bit out of hand. I mean, Tatum's been like that a bit during the playoffs. Some guys are just complaining way too much and it's getting out of hand. Like Giannis, true immigrant, putting his head down, just getting back to work. Just like, accepting that things aren't always going to go his way in America. But yeah. Some guys are just, it's been way out of hand this year.
Giannis is such a sweetie. Like, he really is. There's
nothing more you could ask for in like a modern NBA superstar than Giannis.
When he had that really bad travel, that was like literally 15, just took a full walk around the arc. No regard for anything. I felt compelled to say that actually it was not a travel because if you think about it, he's adorable. So it doesn't, it kind of cancels out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Heat Celtics then, since we're talking about the Jason Tatum. Rohan, are you happy or are you just nervous because you know that the Celtics aren't?
No 100.
So I would have preferred the Heat lost in the last round than now have a chance to lose to the Celtics. It's been so long since they've lost to the Celtics in my lifetime that I don't want to have to deal with that again. I interviewed Max Strus the other day and I was like, please don't lose to Boston. Like I just can't handle it. I'm glad that they at least had one game like that. And that my colleague Michael Pina, a big Celtics fan, was in attendance to watch his team get packed up, specifically Jason Tatum. I was like, I didn't think Jimmy Butler could score 40 against Boston. Granted, it helped a lot that he was shooting over Peyton Pritchard and a Marcus Smart, but that was just a really fun game, and I thought that was like the best version of the Heat when they were clicking on both ends. And I'm interested to see if Butler can outplay Tatum like for 2 or 3 more games in this series. I think that's their best chance. Like if he can do that, then I think they have a chance. Like I just wasn't expecting him to do it as well as he did in game 1.
Well, to be fair, and I'm not saying that this is a knock on him because this is what you're supposed to do. Like he found Peyton any single time he could. But he did everything. I was also talking to my dad about this. The thing about Jimmy Butler is that it's really hard to define exactly, like quantify exactly what he can be for a team, but that is kind of the point. He can fit into whatever role you need him to. And at his best, which he was, it's just incredibly hard to contain. Because he doesn't, this is why he fits with the Heat so well. He doesn't do the easy thing all of the time, and he doesn't give up on possessions where it feels like maybe he should. And then he always proves me wrong. when I'm screaming pass. But then he also does frequently pass. But do we know who's going to be out for game 2? Because this is going to come out. This episode's going to come out when game 2 is probably going on. So, or, a little bit before. So we don't know. When I looked at
I think Smart will be in and Horford will be out.
Okay.
Reading the tea leaves.
Derek White also out.
Wait, Derek White's out?
That's what I just saw.
Might be for the best.
He looks like it's just like you have a dream that you are playing in the Eastern Conference Finals and they throw you in and you're like, oh my God, I have to produce. I have to guard someone. No shade to Derek White, but
it was giving Make-A-Wish. Yeah, for sure.
It was
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing is that I think one of his biggest problems is something that this is going to be an annoying answer. But when you watch him or rewatch, because it was like very on display last game, he doesn't have any confidence. He has a weird pause before he shoots most of the time. And it's almost like he's thinking about passing. If he does pass, he also has that pause. When he's executed something, say like a shot, say a pass, he doesn't move at the normal speed afterwards that you'd think it was. I think there's so much hesitation going on with him that he is not fit to start in an Eastern Conference Finals. Like, no.
Do you guys think
No doubt about that.
Do you guys think you would have enough confidence in yourselves to perform under the pressure of this moment? Because I know for a fact I do not.
I'm trying to think about what the most pressure situation I've ever been in is.
Oh, that's a good question.
I think about like, I'm going to fake it. Like I'm gonna run really fast around. I'm setting screens. Like
you're going
I may
full
not
Rodman.
know.
You're going
yeah,
full Rodman.
I
Okay.
may not know exactly what I'm gonna do when I get the ball. But just like Haley's saying, he has such a hesitation. He's thinking about it so much. And I've been in those positions where you know what you can do, but you're not sure if you can do it right now on this stage with this team. You know you should get the ball to Jason Tatum. Like, there's better people on your team that should have the ball than you. But I'm sprinting through. Like, even he has a hitch in his run throughs. Like, I'm setting back screens. I'm waiting for the shot in the corner, and I'm going to drill it if that's the only time I touch the ball.
They're like, this isn't the play. And you're like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, I'm running.
Yeah.
I'm around. So, yeah, it's giving you don't belong.
Okay.
Jesus.
One quick note about Derek White. He is missing game 2 for the birth of his child.
Oh, shit. Maybe he was thinking about more important
Wow,
things.
Harry set you up. Harry absolutely set you up.
I did know.
Oh,
I
shout
knew
out
it.
to Derek White. Congrats, Derek White.
There's hesitation because his wife was in labor. He's thinking about being
Okay,
a
yeah,
parent.
maybe he was.
Yeah.
How old is he?
I mean,
I don't know.
later, mid
Let's
to
take a
late
guess.
20s.
Is
28.
there some?
27.
All-time baby face, like all-time.
Yeah.
Will go down in history.
I'll
Is
say
there-
27 years old.
Hey, let me
Yeah, it's
check.
27.
Is there some Fred VanVleet
I hope not.
So
possibility? Go ahead.
So that's a huge,
Yeah.
very valid point. Fred VanVleet famously,
Yeah.
after the birth of both his children, had an outrageous uptick in play.
He got the male baby bump. He got
The male baby bump.
Yeah.
That was the year that they won it all. And
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I've said this before a billion times. I seriously advocated for him to be on the list, the short list of finals MVPs.
He was fantastic. I mean, he was like
amazing.
playing better than Steph that series. He was just knocking down 3 after 3. It was ridiculous.
He hated that people brought up the baby too. He's like, it's
Yeah.
not about my baby. Like, I've already had a kid. Did not want to
Hey.
credit that baby for a second. He was like,
That
"Fuck
baby grew up to be a finals MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that baby grew up to be John Moran.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all going to be eating our words when
Yeah.
Derek White comes back.
Yeah,
drops
tough
30.
look for us. Just going in on Derek White. Turns out he's having a kid momentarily. Do we have an age? Do we have an age, Harry?
He's 27.
Oh,
Okay,
hey,
yes.
there we go.
We're right. Yeah.
Wow, how about that?
Well, sorry, Derek White. But
Hey,
maybe
he's-
this will be your turning point.
How do you guys feel? Because I know that I'm biased, but how do you guys feel about the potential of the city of Boston succeeding at something?
With this team, I am actually okay with it. I was thinking about that a lot. Actually, if you missed it, go to my Twitter and then go to my go to my media and then scroll down. You'll see a picture of my dog, and I put contemplating or something, accepting that we are going to be okay with the Boston sports team. Yeah, you know Elfie.
Yeah.
Rohan. Elfie loves Rohan.
Elfie's a
But-
legend. Get Elfie on the pod.
I wish. She
Yeah.
just keeps
She's been-
barking. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She needs to. I'm gonna make her a seat
Yeah.
with a little desk. You never think you're gonna be that person when it's a pet, and then you get a pet, and you're a
Yeah.
fucking freak, and you're like
Yeah.
buying them miniature purses and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
I'm sure some people are, not me. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I like a lot of things about this team. I like Ime. I like that Al Horford is having this thing that I never thought he was going to have. What I was saying a couple minutes ago was like, you got to hand it to Draymond, because 2 years ago, everyone, myself included, maybe not everyone, but I think a majority of people are like, in 2 years, he's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
He's going to be old. He's going to be, his knees are going to move wrong.
His
He's
back's
going to wake
messed
up.
Yeah.
Exactly. And look at him. Like,
Yeah.
every year we get reminded by a player to shut the fuck up, and we just never can. You know what
It's
I mean?
so true. It's so true.
Yeah, so shout out to Al Horford. I do like this for him, and I like Jalen, and I like Jason. I like seeing them do this. Marcus Smart. Another thing that I really like is when someone does not fit into an award that they typically would win. We were talking about this with the NFL MVP. Defensive players don't win it. In Survivor, the big strong men don't advance. And yeah, Marcus Smart, a guard, won Defensive Player of the Year, and I think that's amazing. I've always liked him. It's really difficult to not like him because he is not Patrick Beverley, but he's got the good qualities of a Patrick Beverley, I would say.
Yeah.
And I like what they're doing. It's fun to watch Boston, and anytime you can say that it's fun to watch a team that can pride itself on being so good defensively, you know you've really hit a good groove.
Yeah, that's true.
Same with the Heat, though. I really like watching the Heat's defense. And at the beginning of game one, the Celtics had kind of...
They were
They had
carving them
this,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a poise that other teams didn't have before them when they played the Heat, and that's what you need to. Don't you think, Rohan? Like, to beat the
Yeah,
Heat defense,
for
you
sure.
have to take a breath, have some composure, slow
Yeah.
down, because when you look up and you're getting ready to like find that passing lane that exists all the time when you run this exact play, it is not going to be there. But yeah, Jason and Jalen did a good job at that. But then in the second half, like sometimes it's just too strong, too overwhelming. I think that's what happened.
No, that's a good point. You need a lot of focus against the Heat's defense that I think Boston's capable of. I floated a take on Twitter, and I'm like starting to maybe put some more weight behind it, that no coach has ever looked cooler than Ime Udoka when they call a timeout and they walk out on the floor, because he's usually like looking at some player like, what the fuck did you just do? Like, he's such a look of disdain for his team that's actually really cool. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you know you're not supposed to do that. And I really respect him for it. It's very cool.
I'm gonna get a cameo of him for your 30th birthday, and
Yeah,
it's just
hell
gonna
yeah.
be him walking by the camera like.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Wow, that's a good point. He is infinitely cooler than Brad Stevens, I would say.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not close. It's not
Night and day.
close.
Yeah.
I was liking Boston and I was enjoying them. And then I caught up on Winning Time, and I was quickly reminded of, as a Lakers fan, why I hate Boston so much and why, it's fuck Boston and everything. And so yeah, I'm back there. So I was falling into
There
it.
we
I was
go.
like, man,
There
Jason
we
Tatum's
go.
so good. This is a great defense. And then I'm like, no, I hate Boston. They're terrible. But I do think we're not talking about Marcus Smart's green hair enough.
That was an interesting move.
I'm for it. I'm kind of for it. It's fun. It matches. I think it's a good look. I don't think we're talking about it enough.
It just was. Is he trying to enter? Or speaking, we brought up Dennis Rodman already once on this podcast. Is he trying to make a Rodman play? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, it caught me off guard. It felt like this is something you float out. Like you get some feelers out on it in the regular season. And he just busted it out late, and I guess that speaks to the confidence he has. But yeah, I'm not totally sure how I feel about it, to be perfectly honest.
Jordan, you said it's a good look. Is it a good look in the literal sense? No, I don't think it looks good. Is it a good look to support your team?
Yeah, it's a good
for
choice.
sure. You know, we
Good
did
choice.
that. You do that in high school. You know, you dye your hair whatever
That's
color.
true.
My school was yellow and blue, and I can't dye my
Same.
hair yellow. It already is. Or yellow, if I want to make Harry laugh. It already is. So that did not work for me. I'm not getting near blue. But the green is like, yeah, it matches the uniform. Will it match anything else ever? No. But you're in the playoffs, so.
I don't mind the dyeing the hair. I think in general dyeing hair looks cool. I don't think going your team's primary color is the way to go. If I were to kind of be an aesthetic consultant for Marcus Smart, I would say go an alternative Celtics color. Like, I guess you couldn't really do white, but like,
Yeah, that would look.
Couldn't do white. What are their other colors? They're just green.
That like what's the college?
Gray.
No, like gold.
Gold?
Yeah, like I'm forgetting.
Do they have a gold in their? Well, I mean, even if they don't, it would complement it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm
That's
also
an
just thinking of.
interesting-
That is interesting. I did dive more into black hair in another episode of Spinsters called An Ode to Black Hair. But with our hair, like texture and color being so like jet black, that's why I like the choice of the green, because it's like a contrast, but it's not blonde. It's not, frosted tips.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
it is a good green.
I
And
like
it's kind
the
of
green.
fading. It's like an ombre a little
It
bit.
is, but it looks like he like did it for a party one weekend, and it hasn't, and it's not like fully like been washed out yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
He does kind of look like the kids on the bottle of spray on dye.
yeah.
Well, he wears the two pieces that are like, the cords with shorts and it's I like watching him on the sidelines. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna talk more Heat, Celtics, and Rohan's gonna tell us how the Heat pull this off. I was gonna do something that put you under more pressure and then saw your face. I felt bad. I didn't want to Derek White it twice in one pod.
This is a maybe on pod, maybe not. Philadelphia City Council just passed a resolution that names Joel Embiid the most valuable Philadelphian.
Thirsty.
MVP.
Thirsty.
I saw a really good tweet
desperate.
about that.
Enough already. Enough already.
Ick. If I'm
Can you
him, you think that's
imagine-
gonna reassure me? No,
That's why-
get me a fucking better coach.
I'm also like thinking of all the meetings that they could have and everything that they could pass. They're like, you know what? Clear my schedule. We have to create an award for our MVP, Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why politicians either shouldn't be allowed to have the internet or should need to spend 18 hours a day on it.
Yeah.
You get these in-betweens where it's like, this
Yeah,
is
but
not
I
what the people
hated
want.
when like AOC started memeing. I was like, go do something.
Right.
Go help me, okay?
Help me.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. And well, it's even worse. Like, whatever. She's one example, but like when Ted Cruz had a good social media manager for a hot minute, and I don't know because I don't see if he still does these tweets, but like he had tweets that regrettably, were they coming from anyone else, would have been funny. So fuck that social media manager for using your powers for bad. And fuck him. Like, get offline. Go. Well, actually, no. don't do anything.
Right.
Honestly,
Yeah.
in your case, never mind. Get on 18 hours a day.
But the offline problem is then you get those Facebook hearings where you get the guy being like, so this company is able to steal my bank account? And they're
Yeah.
like, you don't know what. He's like talking to
Yeah,
Mark
it is.
Zuckerberg and he's like, the W key on my computer is stuck. It's like, my guy, that is not what we're talking
Wrong
about
room.
here. Yeah.
I haven't heard from Mark Zuckerberg in a while.
Yeah.
Good.
Doing
Wonder
that,
what
like,
he's up to.
that
Incubating.
shadow work for his run for president in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, you buy
what
Wendy's online.
Warriors is the easy choice here, but if he was an NBA fan, who would he be a fan of? And I don't honestly think it is Warriors.
No, I think it's
because I think he'd want to appeal more to the people, and his many consultants on like how people interact and feel and stuff would tell him that most people don't like new Warriors fans.
that's
Yeah.
a tough
Good
one.
question.
The problem is he's probably got so many quote unquote buddies who are Warriors fans. Probably has been to some kind of weird sex murder party with Joe Lacob.
For a fact.
Yeah.
Where yes, it's what's that movie where they wear masks and
Eyes wide shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
yes,
Yeah, he's been to an
God,
Eyes
Nicole
Wide Shut.
Kidman
Yeah.
kills in that movie.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just a great movie. Yeah.
I could see him like becoming a fan of the new expansion team that they put in Seattle or something like that, or Vegas.
Oh
He's
yeah.
Yeah.
like he's like, oh, I'm picking up this new team or whatever.
I think
I
he
can
would
see that,
go
yeah.
firmly Texas, like
Mm.
probably Mavs. Remember his obsession with the barbecue sauce that I apparently didn't know
Right.
about.
I wouldn't
he-
surprise me if he went Celtics either.
I also think his human consultants would be like, look, dude, you want people to like you?
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if there's one thing redeemable about the city of Boston, it is a kind of like Luddite city. Like there isn't a lot of actually, I think probably in reality there is all kinds of weird tech in Boston, but like the aesthetic of the city is not like
They're building like the police
Pay.
dog robots in Boston.
right, which might literally be a Zuckerberg.
It's
Yeah.
one of them is his pet.
Yeah,
Police dogs.
robot police.
Yeah,
Robot police
robot
dogs.
police dogs.
Do they
Real
look
dogs
like
are getting
dogs?
put out of work.
Yeah, they're putting real. First of all, you're putting real dogs out of work.
Did you guys
I'm
see
look for the German
conflicted. I'm
Shepherds.
conflicted because you're ruining one economy, but you're also not forcing dogs to be cops anymore,
Did
which
you
is
guys-
the most tragic
True.
life for a dog.
No
Did you
more
guys see
dog
the-
cops.
the tweet that was going around yesterday? And it was like a court transcript, and it was like witness, like it was like the dogs were not doing what they were paid to do, and it's like judge, like, wait, did you just say the dogs were getting paid? And it's like witness, like, I assumed they were getting compensated somehow.
They should. Unlimited treats.
Yeah.
There's this. This is gonna sound like a story where I know probably like 30% of the information, and that's correct. But I was listening to this podcast, Maintenance Phase, and they were doing an episode on this guy. I want to say Carl something, who used to be very big in the fashion world, and he was a big like fat phobia, all kinds of weird shit going on there. Person, but he also was obsessed with his cat, to the degree that she had 2 assistants. And when he died, he left her, the cat, all his
Oh,
money.
I saw this.
He had a chef, 2 assistants, all for the cat. And he literally left all of his money to that cat.
What happens to the money?
I
Like,
don't know.
that's-
That's the thing. They can't. It's a cat.
Wow. I
It is
hate
a
cats,
cute cat,
but
honestly.
Is it? Let me see.
The guy's name is Carl Lagerfeld.
Lagerfeld. Yeah, Carl
Lagerfeld.
Lagerfeld. Yeah.
yeah.
I just sent in the chat. The first one is a robot dog. The second one is a regular cat. Billy.
Oh,
What's
2
her
New
name?
York
Not a
Times
regular
links.
cat,
You're about
a
to
rich
blow up
cat.
my 5
Oh, that's
articles per month. You couldn't even screenshot.
That's,
I'm going through hard
Oh.
times here. Oh,
I already
that's
lost mine.
creepy. Damn, I lost mine too.
I went to cancel my New York Times subscription, and they're like, "We'll renew you for $1 a month for like the next year."
Wow.
Yeah,
Respect.
I need to do
Entertainment.
so
that.
that's the way to
Yeah.
do it. Yeah,
What? How do you say this name?
Yeah, cute cat.
Chipotle?
That is a
Chipotle.
cute cat.
Chipotle. Him and his
Close.
cat Chipotle.
Chipotle. Were you guys watching the other night when the guy was like Chipotle, and I was like, the fuck?
My weirdest commercial of the playoffs so far was last night, which was apparently the first time I saw that crypto is dead commercial, where it was a bunch of people tweeting. I
lost it. It was like the soft music behind it, like don't let this is our moment. Like, oh my god.
When really all you're saying in reality is like, for years this thing's been precarious.
Yeah.
Like for years you've been standing on water that is you can't even say that's not even the phrase, but that's exactly what I meant to say. You're standing on water. You're falling straight through.
This is what happens when you give dorks a bunch of money. They make dorky stuff, and then we all have to look at it.
Yeah, that was a great commercial. And then after I tweeted about it being, I was like, "This is a drill tweet," and a bunch of crypto people followed me. So just in case you're wondering what side I'm on, it's not yours. I think you're conning people out of money.
The buzzword, and they were all in.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a terrible commercial. Rohan, how can the Heat win? Other than, let's say that the Celtics are full strength.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At some point in this. And let's also say that the Heat that's the other thing is that
missing
Gabe
Kyle Lowry
and Max. Well, what about Max? Because I thought he was questionable for his hamstring.
They've been listing people questionable. They're fine. Everyone's playing. It's a weird thing that they've been doing. This is how they have to win. Jimmy's just going to have to win the one-on-one battles versus Marcus Smart, because late in the games, both teams are going to be switching. You know, he's not going to want to go up against Tatum. He's not really want to go up against Jalen. He struggled with bigger defenders all season long. Realistically, so guys like Horford, Rob Williams, etc. Jimmy's going to have to win those one-on-one battles against Marcus Smart. Tyler Hero can't turn the ball over when they double team him in pick and rolls. When they drop on him in pick and rolls, he has to hit his three-pointers. That's the best way for them. And defensively, you know, whether it's Hero on the court, whether it's Strus, they can't let those guys get picked on. Those guys have to hold up, because otherwise they're going to have to cheat off the shooters. Boston's going to get a ton of wide open threes, so those guys have to hold up. It's a tall task. Do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think it's likely? No, but that's what it's going to take.
They have to, so you said you think Marcus Smart's going to play today, but
I think Smart
Al Horford
plays.
won't. And Al Horford has COVID, right?
That's right.
Right,
As far as we know. I mean, if they say health and safety protocols, they won't say if he's tested positive. It kind of feels like he has it. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. He also made it very clear that he's vaccinated.
So someone looked into that. I was going to say I looked into that. Someone looked into that, and I saw their tweet. But when they asked him...
Yeah, but you looked into it because you looked at the tweet.
Yeah, that's true. So when someone asked him, are you vaccinated? He was just kind of like, I'll be good to go. Which
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers.
Let me see if I can find the...
That feels extreme. What did Aaron Rodgers say when he was like...
I'm immunized.
I'm immunized.
That was one of the funniest, like... Okay. So, this is from Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe.
Shout out to Adam Himmelsbach, who used to be a mentor of
There
mine. He was at the Louisville Courier for a while.
Oh.
Shout out
Great
to
guy.
Adam. So it says, Friday, Horford denied the report saying he was vaccinated. But this is Horford's quote. I think with the Celtics, we made it clear we're not going to discuss those things, and it's a health matter, and we all respect everyone's individual perspectives. That's why I'm not going to get into it and talk about it, but I'm ready to go.
He is not vaccinated.
Not vaccinated. Yeah.
Not
Why wouldn't
at
you
all.
just say, yeah, exactly, not vaccinated? Wow. Okay, so interesting. Very interesting.
Very interesting. So he's going to be out for a little bit.
Out. Okay, so that's what's happening tonight then.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Smart is back in. The Heat have to win while the Celtics are shorthanded.
Yes.
More short, like that.
That's
the
what I was
fact
gonna
that they
say.
won last night, fantastic. Had they not won last night,
It would have been a
they will
disaster.
not win the
Yeah.
series. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
That's exactly what I was saying. The fact that they took advantage and Jimmy Butler kind of made a stake, like, I'm here, I'm scoring 40, puts me more at ease that this is going to be more of a series.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't win again while they're shorthanded, it's troublesome.
Agreed.
Right. And I think that there'll be 2 Tyler Hero games. He's good for those, I think.
Yeah.
And they've just got to hope that Jason Tatum decides to turn the ball over 7 times.
Which is
That 3 turnover stretch was
It
brutal.
was thrilling. It was thrilling. He got absolutely jacked up by Max Strus, just going the other way for a dunk. Come on, that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is Kyle Lowry like expected to play in the series at all?
I would be surprised if he came back any earlier than Game 3, and that's probably pushing it. His hamstring looked fucked up when he tried to play in that Philly series, and I think that they can't afford to bring him back less than like he can't come back in the condition he was last time. So I think it's got to be later in the series.
Yes, and whenever he comes back, it'll be premature because
Yes.
that's just Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
He's one
Yeah.
of them. You know what I
True.
mean? Like he literally is similar to Jimmy Butler, like
Yeah.
a perfect Heat fit for that reason. So,
Yeah.
but that's the same could be said about Marcus Smart. I would watch out for that. Like if anything, this is another game that Jimmy take advantage
Yeah.
of. He's going to be on you, so we'll see. But yeah, Jimmy Butler really was playing Jimmy Butler basketball.
Yeah, I have a friend. So if you guys remember a few years ago, Kurt Goldsberry wrote that book called Sprawl Ball about like
course.
the NBA's 3-point revolution. My friend Paulina threatened to write a rebuttal book called Scrappy Ball that was just all about like players who shoot near the hoop because she hates the 3-pointer. And so I texted her. I was like, Paulina, if you're really about Scrappy Ball, this Jimmy Butler game is for you because he dropped 40 hitting 0 threes. She's like, let me look into this. So Jimmy Butler's playing Scrappy Ball and he's finding a way to succeed with it.
I want Paulina to come on the pod.
Oh, she absolutely would. She's a legend.
Oh,
Scrappy ball.
I also want Guy. Can we find if you know Guy Fieri out there? Look, I got a proposal for him.
Yeah.
There is a small chance.
I have an really wild story about Guy Fieri.
I know your Guy Fieri story, and it is wild.
I wonder, Ciara, if you know about this. I'll tell you the skinny of it. Basically, the gentleman who sold my friend's fake IDs in high school orchestrated a cat burglary style burglary of a showroom in downtown San Francisco with Guy Fieri's Lamborghini in it. And then this is all true, and you can like look it up. And then would just drive around with Guy Fieri's stolen Lamborghini with like the license plate crossed out, and selling people like 16-year-olds fake IDs. This guy named Max Wade.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's
That is fucking crazy.
Sounds like a Netflix show.
I can't
Oh,
even.
true, yeah.
I can hardly follow that story. It's so insane.
look up Max Wade, Guy Fieri.
Why?
crazy.
Why? Just
Why
what a
did he do
weird-
that?
What a weird crime. Yeah.
No, totally.
Just
I'm
because he
with you.
could. Yeah. Just,
Just
Yeah.
it seems like he was bored.
Yeah.
If you're selling teenagers fake IDs, you're already probably a little bit of a weirdo. So
yeah,
that-
it's true. Yeah. You know,
Which,
somebody
no
has to
shade.
do it. Somebody
Somebody
has
has
to
to do
Those
it.
people, that is an essential worker, okay?
Listen,
That is,
That is
yeah.
an essential.
Yeah.
I was drinking beer purchased by a fake
Yeah,
ID when I was
exactly,
16. So no
exactly.
hate.
Yeah.
I had one of the worst fake IDs in the world. Like it barely, and it
don't
didn't
know.
even look like it was Ohio, and it did not look like the Ohio
Oh, yeah.
IDs. And when that one got taken away, of course, and I got a set of 2 replacement that looked real, I was like the most confident person in the world. And then when I actually turned 21, this is a true story. I was in DC, and the person at the front who was like letting people in was like, you look like you're 12. And I was like, well, that's unnecessary. Gave him my ID, and then he was like, well, what's your address? And I couldn't remember. Sometimes I can't remember. If I go to Walgreens, you ask me my birthday at the pharmacy counter,
Yeah.
it's so on the spot. How could you ask me that? So I was just like, and I couldn't get it. So I had to prove that it was real.
like with a, yeah. I got my ID pinched on my first day of college.
Oh,
The one that Max.
Your
Pinched.
Yeah.
Pinched.
Pinched.
Like it was like it was
a whole
like it was a
vocabulary.
heist. Like
Wait, is that? That's a say. That's a.
like
People say that.
no,
I've never heard that.
No,
Oh
no,
my
they
God.
don't.
That
All
sounds
they
like
do
a
is come
cartoon of
come
like.
on this podcast and just get flamed for my.
Yeah,
my
what do you call
vocabulary.
cigarettes? Like
Darts.
Oh
Urban
yeah,
darts.
darts.
Young
Oh my-
babies. Yeah.
Young baby.
babies.
Calling
All timer. All timer.
If you started calling ciggies young babies, that would be cool though.
that's
Yeah.
cool. I might
Yeah,
start
yeah.
smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And you should. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you
Um,
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Pack of young babies.
Oh my god. Well, Rohan, I know you have to get out of here.
Oh shit. Yeah. Sorry.
Always keep you over, but it's always a fun time every
Listen,
single time.
This was great. I'm glad that I feel like we talked an appropriate amount of basketball while also talking
did.
about the things we really wanted to talk about, which was fake IDs and whatnot. So
And baby to play
yeah,
the
yeah,
the ratio between not the ratio. It'd be how young,
Correlation.
how recently your baby has been born
right.
in context to your
Oh, the
playoff
B to
run.
P ratio,
And
Yeah,
and
B2B.
shout out
BTP.
shout out to the people who watched this on YouTube and got to see Haley mime. Like you're welcome. Yeah,
Next
Yeah.
time I'll Vogue.
yeah.
Maybe I'll Vogue right now.
Bye, Haley.
I can't do the
So
robot.
good.
I also can't Vogue or do mime, so
I can do a
maybe
good
I'll do
robot,
it.
for what it's worth.
He didn't
Include
just
it. It's worth a
mime.
lot.
He didn't just mime. He had the face painted in the hat and everything.
And he was in a mirror. Didn't he go like this?
Yeah, yeah.
He waved
did-
his
he did the
finger.
little-
Listen.
He did the little finger wag. Oh.
There were layers to that
Yeah,
commercial that I
yeah.
hated so much. The Shaq voice.
Yeah, why was Shaq doing the
fact that it was
voiceover?
about crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
You know
many-
what was a
so
good
many
commercial?
things.
The Spike Lee one with that
Yes.
girl playing
So
Shaq.
That's a
good.
fun
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
My aunt and my
Yes.
dad turned around and they were like, "That was a great commercial." And I was like, you don't get that reaction much
Yeah.
anymore because commercials aren't fun anymore.
Yeah. They
My-
even labeled it like a mini movie.
Yeah. My
They
dad
corrected it.
my dad is out on American commercials. He's like, Indian commercials are a lot better.
I gotta watch
Yeah,
those.
they are pretty good. They are pretty good. But yeah, he's like what? He's always like, American commercials in America suck. Yep.
That's-
yeah.
Love it. It's a solid
Yeah.
critique.
Yeah,
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 It's
yeah.
solid.
We should just run through like Super Bowl ads with him,
Yeah.
the top 3
Yes.
from every year.
Yeah, he
and see
really
what
should.
says.
He'd be mad. He'd be charting the decline of American society through the commercial. Yeah. It's like we used to be a proper country.
We used to make
like,
things in this country.
Yeah, like a Super Bowl ad, a Taco Bell ad from '96. He's like, look at this Chihuahua. They'll never do that anymore.
This is advertising.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
shout out to your
Wow.
dad.
Shout out to him.
And your
that's our
mom.
show. Yes, and your mom and
Thank
your
you.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our show. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Rohan, for coming on 2 times this week. Annual girly. You're welcome to come back anytime. Keep leaving us your voicemails, your emails. We love reading them. Thank you so much. Call us at 502-874-4453 or send us an email at spinsters@bluehourpods.com to be featured on the show. And as always, shout out to our Spinsters team, Harry Krinsky and Ciara Smith.